Your team is not broken because of the market or the products that you represent as a company. Your team is broke because they are leaking money and you allow it. Every missed detail, every sloppy contract, every distracted conversation is costing $1,000 a day per deal. And you know what is the worst part? That you don't even see what their money is being lost. Today, I'm going to show you exactly where your team is losing millions and what a lead CEO fits immediately to protect every closing. Welcome back. My name is Rosalina Esquilin from the Real Estate Empress. And I want to talk to you, all of you, because when we have a business, we are the CEO. Can you be in a CEO in a big company and you have your team, you have your team leader, and you're expecting some sales, and not all of them make the line. Not all of them go exactly what the goal is supposed to, but many of them has so many excuses for not to be doing exactly what they need to do. They always going to find something else to complain or to say that it doesn't work. It's because they don't know what they're doing. We can spend hours, days, months in training. At the moment that they have to start facing the maybe the no on the contract or the insecurities that that contract or that deal is bring because of the nature of that deal, that's the momentum that they are losing their control. And one of the things that I have been noticed is that they are over promising. Guys, this is something that you guys need to hear your team. You, my advice to you, if you're a CEO of these big companies and you have a team group, and that group you have a manager over that group, I will tell you that at least a Monday or one day in a week, you guys meet and start listening how they are doing with the objections. How do they act when they are confronting something that they do not expect it? How they start offering things that they are not be able to provide or having in compliance with that contract. I have been seeing a few stuff, and you guys know that we have a business. My husband and I, we are working in construction, and we're dealing with something very, very weird this time. I wasn't able to put a video yesterday because I was trying to bring all the information and try to see how my office and this thing has been related, and maybe how you guys have been losing millions of dollars in a deal because your sales force are not ready to deal with them. And I will go even more far to this. Even in any sale that you guys are doing, maybe it's a dealership and you guys has a quote to complete and you have a client willing, able, ready to purchase this amazing $200,000 car, and all of a sudden he back out of the contract. He back out of the commitment. Sometimes I saw cars, and I just saw not just one, I saw fleet. Also for companies like Johnson and Johnson in Puerto Rico, and they need like this Avalon for the Avalon car from Toyota. They for the management, but they have something else for their sales force. And then we sell the Camrys. Camry. So I have been working with the top companies selling the big ones. And when I start seeing exactly what's the pattern that I have been noticed a few patterns that I would like to mention right now. For example, they are over promising. Your sales force is over promising something because they don't want to lose the deal. And you know why this happened? Because they did not know how to control the objections. They don't know how to deal with that. They cannot think fast and provide an option or fix a situation that will maybe coming out during this transaction. Another thing that I have been noticed is the contract. The contracts are not well executed. For example, in real estate, we have one contract that we just follow whatever is in the space and we fill it out. But if your company has to prepare a contract for every deal that you guys has, you should be having something else in place. At least having someone that help this agent, this person in your sales force, to make a draft of the possible contract that is going out. And it's not just because of this, it's because you guys need to see how everything starts to be unfolding. For you as a manager, if you're the one managing this team, or you as a CEO want to step in to see how can you make this contract more stronger, bring your input and start then to prepare the correct contract, seeing in every single details the what is going on in it, what they have been talking, what are the most important details that this client is looking for, what is the things that are conveyed in this contract. Your representative, agent representative of you in the sale, has a conversation with this client to try to get committed and have been this contract done, solidify, and then continue with the company and be your client forever and ever, right? But the thing is that when they are talking, they are maybe don't write it down, the most important things, the details. And this is what happened. I have this situation, and I want to bring this to you guys because it's about millions of dollars on this contract. And agent that represents the buyer and the one that represents the seller, they have a conversation. The buyer's agent is requesting, right, a lot of stuff for this deal being done. And the seller's agent is accepting everything verbally to get this deal. Pricing, details in the interior, materials, designs, everything. But what happened? They had these conversations. They both are into this. They get agreed on all these details, but they forgot to put it on the contract. This agent, the buyer agent, says, if these things are not in the contract, we're not going to be in contract. That would not be an offer that my clients are willing to go through. And this, the seller says, that's perfect, not a problem. We are going through the whole things that you guys just asked. One thing, nothing was written in the contract. No details, no specifications, nothing. Another detail, who wrote the contract was the wrong person. If you represent the buyer, you represent the buyer in every single aspect, and your team represents your company. They cannot allow anyone to fill do the contract, draft the contract, or even provide a previous contract and then your company sign it, because this deal is more similar to another deal that they have before. First, your company has completely different structures and missions and visions and way to do the deals. You had to do all your documents. In this situation, the seller is providing everything for the buyer to accept it. But the buyer was the one that should be doing everything, because his client is the one that are willing, able, and ready to purchase, but in their conditions. The seller has their own conditions. The seller has their own idea. The seller has their own things to be done. But what happened with the buyer? So the buyer agent is just waiting like this, that the seller provide everything, And the funny thing is that sellers provide everything. None of the realtors have been read anything in the contract. That contract doesn't establish anything of what the buyer's agent was requesting. None of the details were included. None of the details were in an addendum. None of the details were anywhere. Whose fault is this? The buyers has a lot of money on escrow. How this deal is going to be unfolding. And the thing is, that's the lack of commitment, in this case, agents, but it happens also in your company. The lack of commitment of your sales force allow these mistakes to happen. Because I'm pretty sure if you go and look, you the CEO, you the team leader, you go and look at the contract, you will find all the details that was not in the correct way to this deal to be done. Why? Because we develop so many skills when we're dealing with these situations all the time that we start seeing the gray areas in the contracts. So what happened with this? For not to have a plan or a way to prepare everything, none of the realtors has exactly what they were expecting. Seller over waste money on the house because now they need to make arrangements to be in compliance with all the requirements from this buyer that were never in the contract. Overspending, didn't get anything. How you fix this? There's no way to fix it. It's everything that is in the contract. And the contract is the one that will provide exactly what it needs to be provided. The lack of commitment of the agents, none of the agents read it. None of the agents double check anything. Verbally, the seller agent was so eager and he was always very emphatic, like no, we need to do everything this way. That's why we got committed. But he wasn't writing. Okay? And this one has almost $1 million. Well, has $1 million, $1.3 in escrow. And there's no way to get out. They need to close. Because anything that they are requiring or they are asking for is in the contract. This is exactly what happened when you are managing people. When you're managing your sales force, you need to have them in training. This is not like they're going to training for a month and then you forget about them. No, you need to continue working with the objections. You need to continue working in what they are, the contract need, and you guys expect it to be. You guys need to continue going through the quality control with the compliance department in your company. If you need to structure this better, then you need to have a team that drafts the contracts. Then you need maybe a time to look at those contracts with your assistant or somebody else to double check based on the requirements for the company. And be aware of the conversation that it was in place to get at the point that these people want to get in a business. And another thing that I was looking for was like, if your contracts are something that is the same, just have one contract that is completely filled out as an example that they can follow through. It will be more easier, and that's something that they need to use all the time. Other thing is that financing. I have this situation that also happens to us, and let me tell you something. This that we're talking right now, you can see all this information in my course that is the Real Estate mastery course. Okay, you can do real estate without the license, and if you're doing real estate with the license, go and go to my course, because I have been in real estate since 2006. I'm a real estate instructor and I'm also a broker. But I'm not just doing real estate. I'm a CEO. I have been working and making $1 million just in cold callings for a bank in Puerto Rico. I have been sold 1.3 million in just in one weekend. I have been sold 32 units in less than 6 months with Nanian Homes as a new construction consultant. I know what I'm talking to you. I know what I'm telling you. I have been put these things in practice. And I want to be part of this team. I want to be someone that help you to put your team back in track, because it's our responsibilities as a CEO that we can control where the money is going. The money is leaking to the floor and nobody's paying attention. And the thing is that when you have situations like over promising, contract deficiencies, um, quality in the transaction, problems with the objections, your business is going down. Because if your team is having all these situations, you don't need one or two selling, you need the whole team breaking numbers every single month. No excuses. The thing that when they tell you, oh, I wasn't able to close that deal, they wasn't able to solve that objection. And you need to pay attention to that. The objections was not completed. Your team member, your force sale or your sales force was not able to sold your company, to sold your product, because they doesn't know what to do. They are not committed with your product because they don't know how to be familiar with the objection and gain that objection. They hear the no, they drop their fence, the defense. They don't do anything else. Another thing that I want you to remember is that I was going to talk about financing. When they are over promising and they are trying to get too much in one deal, things like this happen. I have an agent that promised, we have this new loan that is DSCR. It's related with the rental that the property will bring every single month, need to cover the monthly payment of that property as a rent. And that's the way that they're going to do a loan. So these agents promise a client two properties in the same month. They're gonna be using back-to-back transactions, and her lender was using just, I think was a 15% down, 20% down for both transactions. So what happened? The buyer has everything ready. They have the conversation with the lender. The lender agreed in everything. The agent lacked in information. The agent lacked in how to prepare the contract. And I tell you this because we have the real estate agents that think because they close one or two transactions, they know everything. We do not know everything. I'm still going classes. I'm still looking for how to get or be better in what I'm doing. But the agents, they think that, oh, I did once, everything is the same. It's not even the houses are the same. No transactions are the same. No, any people are the same. Not even twins are the same. So they are not ready to solve situations ahead of time. And this is what happened. They prepare both contracts, they submit two offers, they put money down, they offers the down payments and everything. We are under contract with the two transactions, 20% each one. And this is when the things get ugly. The lender came back and says, oh, I'm so sorry. We cannot provide you the 20% down for a DSCR. It needs to be for sure 30% for closing. Why 30%? Because the property was not able to provide the amount to cover the loan because the rental was lower. If the rent is lower, whatever is the difference, the buyer has to bring with that money, put it down, and then the loan and the rental will be the same. And now they can do the DSCR. So now we have a deficit. Why? Because we started with a 20%. Now it's at 30. So it's 30 in here and 30 in here. It cannot be. Because for this one that was 20 and now has to be 30, now we had to get what, 10% from here to over here. So that 10%, the client doesn't have it anymore to close the second transaction. Exactly at that moment, the release and cancellation must be gone. But since the beginning, the realtor had to tell the other realtor that she has two deals, that deal was contingent to financing. And she didn't use the document. Why? Because they are just focused that if I close these two $500,000 houses, $1 million time, whatever the compensation is, it's a lot of money. But they wasn't paying attention. What is the document that I need to know and use and enforce with my client to save them just in case something happened? Well, you know what? The thing happened. First, the financial, oh my gosh, the financial, oh my gosh, I just say the word. Anyways, the document to save them financial contingency was not provided first. Second, she has a few times to do stuff. The inspection period expired. The inspection period expired. Now you cannot walk away from that contract either. So your first two, the financial document to get out of that contract contingency was not filled out, it was not provided. Second, the inspection period has expired. Now the client cannot get out from the second contract. So now we're talking that he has at least $30,000. I think it was $30,000 down as an escrow. The first deal will go through. The second one will not. The client loses money. In the second deal, the $30,000, it was lost completely. The realtor lost a client. The lender and the realtor were just pointing each other who was the fault about the situation. And now the client is very aggravated because the things that is happening. If they will take time to see the contract and take the time to breathe and see the details and take an advantage of the time to put everything in writing and put the documents that will save $30,000 in escrow, they will not have the issue. And this is what happened. The realtors or the agents or the people that you're working with, your sales force, are not ready. Sometimes in sales, we need to work so fast that also that create a lack of training, a lack to create a very tough sales force. And sometimes us We see those deficiencies, but there's no time sometimes to fix it. For example, real estate, I cannot put all my agents together for one training. It's impossible. But I cannot even bring them to tell me what's going on because they think that they can control everything in the transaction. But if you're a CEO and everything has to go through your team leader, through that person that is in charge, then they have to give it to you a plan for you to avoid that money will be leaking out of your pocket because it's millions of dollars that you guys are losing right there. This is two transactions, $500,000. Instead of $1 million sold or 1,200,000, 1,300,000, that's not what is coming to the office anymore as a numbers of sale. It's come half of it. But even worse, no more client. What are we gonna do? Possible lawsuit because what the agent is incompetent to continue doing that, plus the lender. I will go to the lender too. So now it doesn't feel good. I told you about these other lenders, these other realtors at the beginning. Their lack of commitment, the lack of dedication, they put those two situations or this situation with the two side completely ugly. No need to. And I have been noticed also agents promising, oh, I will help you to fix your credit. I have the company that will do that for you. And we're going to be closing. Don't worry, everything's going to be good. And what happened when they cannot comply with what they promise? They start hiding. They do not pick up the phone. And at the end, they call you. Thank you. I have one agent that did that. She offer. She overselling. Then the client doesn't want to work with her. Now she has to call me how to save the deal. Why? Because she was expecting her compensation. And I need to go in. I don't need to go in. I did it. That's the way that I do it. I'm teaching you this. Like I told you, go to my course in real estate, and you will find this information and even more, how to do the contract, the way that is the contract laid out, what are the things that you need to put in the contract. For me, real estate has saved me so much. I have been making $30,000 in just one compensation, $30,000. I saw at the end of Ken Hopnanian Homes, we did $150,000 income at home. That is real estate. That if you right now that is watching this, having so hard a situation, maybe in your finances, you don't need a real estate license. Go and take my course. It's right there in the link. Take it. I have everything laid out for you to be the best out there. Get the idea of the contract. I have one class with the whole information about the contract and how to get out to the contract without losing any money. And I guide you through. Right now, I'm telling you the deficiencies of people doesn't know, and even you going and what happened with the objections, how to deal with that. You know that a no is not a no, is a no for you, is a no for the information is not completed. You're not convincing that person to make the decision to go with you or be with you. I put this more simple. This is a relationship, or this is a guy, or this is a, I don't know, someone that you like or whatever, and start talking to you. And say, it's cute, but no. Know what? I don't know. There's something. Oh, I'm sorry, it's no money. It's something that I cannot grasp. It's something that is missing. I don't know. It's something. That is a no. That person wasn't working in to really get that relationship, to know exactly what that person was looking for. And what happened? That person then is not what? Committed to getting that contract. It's the same thing. Business is a relationship. How good is your how good are you in business? How good are you in a relationship will tell you how good are you in business. You need to be focused on what you're doing. You are the responsible. But the problem is that you, the manager, the CEO, is the one that has to give all the information to the top, the CEO, the the board of what happened, and it's still reflecting on you. And that's why we need to see exactly what happened every month, how we can make our team stronger. We're gonna lose some. Those stronger, other companies would call them, hey, you know what? You're making this much. I want you to make even more. Sometimes it doesn't happen because sometimes what they are doing with you is because you're helping them to do it. It's part of the leadership. But they don't know. They think that there is themselves, but we have to let them go. And they had to try. And they will try to remember what they used to do with you until the questions are not completely answered. But that thing is part of the business. That thing is what makes this working in business, working in sales so much amazing. That's what I love to see this like a huge puzzle. Like I have to fix something. That's where all my energy and all the stuff coming up. So with this, I want to wrap up. I just want to finish this telling you that this is a time to save your team. Millions of dollars are going out, and you need to know why. And I'm telling you why. And you need to confront the situation because you can save your company, you can save your numbers, and you can make those records of sales break under your name. But everything depends on how good you're building your team and the places or the organization that they have to make the sale so solid that you can create a business forever in your company. So take care. Remember, once again, my name is Rosalina Esquilin. Go and see my class on my course for real estate, the real estate masterpiece, and you're going to learn everything about real estate with our license, but as a real estate agent, because I'm a broker and I put all my information, all my knowledge there because I want you to be very successful. And whatever happened in sales, it doesn't matter we're in real estate or not, everything is related. Everything is the same because we're working in sales. So take care. Have an amazing day. So I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.